Second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third and tagging out.
And second and two, handout goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting, we have G-Dub from Austin, Texas, Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland, and finally, they used to call him Pretty Ricky, but now they call him Coach Ricky from Charleston, South Carolina. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What up, guys? What up? Hey, it's Halloween time, guys. Look what we got. Is that Nick's? No, wait a minute. Not Nick Saban. Gerald. Who you say you was again?
The gambler.
Okay, he's a gambler. And down in the corner, we got Mike Tomlin. And you know how Mike does in the interviews after the game. And they lost the weekend, so you know that he's going to be real quiet right there. And I am the referee that threw the flag yesterday and made the wrong doggone play. We'll talk about all that today as we get into the show. Dana was supposed to be on, but he has family in town right now, so he won't be making the show tonight, and he would do his 30 minutes next week. So Mike Tomlin stepped in to be the guy that's going to talk about whatever his topic is going forward. Also, before we go on, let everybody know, check out our website, InTheZoneSportsTalkRadio.com. We have a new listing of all the shows coming up, all the new shows we have right now. And also, we're still looking for co-hosts and writers for the network. Shortly, we should be branching out to WTES.com. Online radio. Just waiting to hear back from my man Mark on that right there. Also, with some sad news, James Holder's father passed away this morning. We did talk in the inbox a little bit, so he won't be doing the show tomorrow. So if you know who James Holder is, please give him a shout out of love and care and concern. His father's name was Larry Holder. Only thing I did was just console him, and just told him that, try as much as possible to think about all the good times you had with your father. I've lost my father, and that was my sports buddy. But you know what, though? What my dad did for me was turn me on to something else called podcasts. So because of him, I'm kind of where I am right now with this podcast thing, because I didn't have nobody else to talk to, so I figured I'd get on Facebook and talk to you guys. So that's where I'm at with that right there. So, please, if you know who James is, send him an inbox, hit him up on Facebook, let him know you're thinking about him, and just let him know that we love him here at the In the Zone Sports Talk Network family. And let's get the show started real quick, though. You see, I got my tabs in the back here. And Boston going 10-0 is off of the board. LSU 45. Alabama 45, LSU 10. Man, I'm so out of it. Oh, this one here. The Steelers over the Eagles. Trash. LSU they don't play this. They play this week, right? Or did they play? Man, you know what? Oh my Lord! Saturday I was so out of man. Look here. Saturday. What was that Saturday? Probably laying down, man. I'm a little little tired here. So of course Alabama 7-1, so we know Alabama won the game. But let's look at the score. After the Penn State game, I really didn't watch no more football because they just turned me off of football. Wait a minute, that's next week. Yeah, that's 11. It's 11-5. Okay, that's 11-5 because Alabama. I think Alabama had a bye. LSU won. No, I'm sorry. LSU has a bye. They got a bye. No, Alabama had a bye this weekend. Let me get this right. Alabama had a bye this weekend, so they play LSU coming up this week on the 5th. Okay, so yeah, that's still going to stay. Any predictions before we move on? That's going to go up on the board tonight, guys. Any wild predictions? Anything?
The Steelers will not lose this week.
Who do the Steelers play?
Nobody. They don't buy.
They're on the bye, so that don't count. Can't hear you, G-Dub.
Steelers going to lose to the bye week.
Okay, but I'm saying, anything outrageous going on that you guys want to post up on the board? I got one for you.
I do too.
Okay, what's yours, G-Dub?
Texas upsets Kansas State.
Say what?
Texas upsets Kansas State.
Texas upsets K-State. You got a score for me?
I'm going to say 35-27.
Tomlin, you got anything for me?
By the next time we speak, World Series will be over.
That's next Saturday. That's what's next Saturday? Next Saturday will be.
Never mind. It'll be over.
Yeah,
That's not going out of it. They have more off days.
Yeah, they had less off days. So the 5th is this weekend. This next week coming up. So what else you got?
I stick to football.
What's that?
By the time we come back, two of the AFC teams will have losses. AFC North have 2 losses.
AFC North will have 2
as in
losses.
Every team will lose once. By next week, except for the Steelers.
So Baltimore will be 5-4. Cincinnati will be they could be 5-3. They could be 5-3 right now. So that's okay. So AFC North, everybody will have at least, you said 1 loss.
At least 1 loss.
They will lose. So everybody in the division gonna lose next week, but the Steelers.
Well, one team lose, which I'm thinking is going to be the Browns. I think the Browns will lose twice.
Yeah, you thinking wrong. AFC North. Steelers wins. Everybody else loses.
Because I got Baltimore losing to the Saints. I got Cincinnati winning tonight. Carolina next week. So I guess I got Cleveland winning. Oh, that hurts.
Okay, I got my Astros will sweep the Phillies.
They can't. The Phillies won game 1.
No, I'm talking about from this point on.
Okay.
That's funny. All right. Mike Tomlin, it's your show, brother.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the Mike Tomlin Show. We have had some problems. What? Get Brian Flores to just call the defensive on the show right now. So seriously, for the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about the surprising team. I want to hear what you guys think. I'm just going to read off some standards right now. Teams that don't make any sense. Both of the New York teams have winning records. The Jets are 5-3. The Giants are 6-2. Who thought that would happen? Nobody. Not even me. And I know a lot about football.
And if whoever's watching the show, if you watch the show, please do me a favor. Google the last time both those teams had winning records at the same time. Kev, ask Mo, did he have a bet on the Dolphins?
No, Mo did not take that bet because Mo ain't that stupid. But at the same time, the standard is standard. And the Steelers should have won that game. We got our quarterback living up to his name.
So if somebody's out there, please let us know the last time the Jets and the Giants had a winning record in the same season.
Going into week 9. Now, some other surprising teams. Steelers are 2-6. I'm gonna just let that sit for a minute. Everybody knows we're out without TJ Watt. We can't take that. We can't blame that. It is what it is. Next man. Malik Reed. Call you out in practice. The Philadelphia Eagles. Just are behind. The last team. They might actually go 10. Pretty easily. They play Thursday night, then they don't play again. They get a bye. That team is looking scary. Especially what I saw on the field last week. But the most two surprising teams for me. This team traded away their quarterback. And is winning the NFC West. You know who that is, G-Dub? He used to play for the Jets. He's their starting quarterback. Played in West Virginia.
Marcus.
Geno Smith. Okay, you're out. I ain't calling you no more. You already failed. But the most surprising team to me, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait for y'all. That's not the most surprising team for me. So I want to see. G-Dub. Is it good or bad? And also, we got to throw in the Packers being 3-5. The Lions being 1-6 is surprising to me, but probably nobody else because they've been losing a lot. Arizona Cardinals called that 3-5. The Rams 3-4. Won the Super Bowl, can't win a game now. What are they in the division? It doesn't matter what they are in the division because they lose. But G-Dub, who is your most surprising team right now in the NFL?
My most surprising team would have to be the Jets.
Why?
They're looking better. They're starting to come together as a team.
Okay, but at the same time, Jets had how many first-round draft picks this year?
Do what?
How many first-round draft picks did the Jets have?
I don't know how many first-round picks.
I think they had 3 because I wanted to they picked up Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. They picked up Sauce Gardner as a cornerback. And Brees, I don't know if Brees or the tight end. Both of them were selected either at the end of the first round or the second. They got Brees Hall, the running back. They also got the tight end, who they hardly even play. They got the best tight end, best quarterback, best wide receiver, and also the best running back in the whole draft. So I told you guys the Jets were going to be much better than people thought. I had them finishing second in the division behind the Bills. So I'm not as surprised about the Jets. I'm just surprised that they were this good without having their quarterback because Joe Flacco played a lot of those games. So I agree with you with the Jets being surprised. What about you? What about you, Mr. Referee?
I gotta say, Seattle Seahawks. Nobody saw this coming. They got rid, but see, I'm gonna say this too. The players that Denver got rid of are the players that he needed in Denver to be better in Denver. They traded him for those players. Okay, so the players that was gonna make Russell Wilson better in Denver, they traded them to Seattle. Geno Smith is playing out of his mind right now. He is my comeback player of the year right now, for sure. Seattle is playing good football right now. They're 5-3. They're leading the division. Okay, but they haven't played. I think they haven't played San Fran yet, and I don't think they played Arizona yet. I think they played one game with the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
And 1-1 in the division.
Okay, so I think that's going to tell the tale with them because those teams in the division know you better than anybody else know you. So there's going to be different things going on with Geno. But for them to be 5-3 is the most shockingest team in the NFL. If you go back to Vegas and you look at the numbers for Vegas on who was going to make the playoffs or who's going to win the division or who's going to do this, who's going to do that, Seattle's name wasn't even mentioned in the runnings at all. But what happened, though, is Seattle was smart. They said, okay, you want Russell Wilson? Then we want the tight end. We want the running back. We want the fullback. We want everything that's going to make him look great there. We want back in return. And Denver did it. And now look at Denver struggling.
But Denver didn't give up a running back.
No, I don't know who all they gave back, but I know the tight end was a big
thing.
Quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though that the tight end. Well, we know how Russell likes to throw to the tight end. Okay, so they took the tight end from there and took him and sent him to Seattle. Now he's out of Seattle, making Geno look like an all-pro right now.
Well, Fan isn't doing that well. He's actually still throwing the distance.
Say that again.
He's not really throwing to Noah Fanny.
I thought Noah. I thought Noah is leading that team in second receptions though.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Then maybe I might be wrong.
He's throwing more to DK now. And Tyler Lockett. I'm impressed.
But you know the thing about it is that if this is the same team pretty much the same team that Russell had, why couldn't he do well with this team? I really think there was some issues with him being on that team a while back when the defensive back called him out. What's his name? Not Seymour. Is it Seymour? Called him out.
Seymour. It's not
Seymour. It's
not Seymour. Who was it?
Richard Sherman.
Okay, Richard Sherman. When he called him out, said that he's the boy on the team. He's the man. That's everybody like him on the team, and he is the golden boy for the team. I think players noticed that players didn't want to play there, and they didn't want to block for him either because they felt like he was maybe the golden child, But they they traded him to Denver. Everybody thought that Denver was going to be this great team with him. My cousin, he told me, he said, only thing we missing was a quarterback. And I was like, yeah, okay, really. I didn't really look at Denver like that. But then he got there and he had 11 points one game. And I think they had 15 points the next game. And they played Jacksonville over across the season. They win 21-17 or something like that. Supposedly he had a hamstring pull, but apparently it wasn't that bad. He couldn't play. But still, my surprise team is the Seattle Seahawks. I really don't think they're going to win the division. I think that they're going to fall short because I still think the Rams and San Francisco is better than them. I think they're better than Arizona. Even with D Hopkins there's something missing in Arizona. We all know that there's going to be some trades. It's going to be still going to be some trades done, if not today, but tomorrow before 3:00. So that's who's my surprising team is the Seattle Seahawks. Mike Tomlin, soon to be fired.
I agree with you because I brought them only plus 11. They're only plus 11. But they're 5-3. So, but Denver minus 11. Minus 11. 3-5. So, as I always say, you got to score more points than the other team. It's alphabetical.
And it's not that Denver doesn't have the weapons. I think a lot of it has to do with coaching. I think you bring in a rookie coach with a quarterback, and then you try to implement your system with him, and now it's not gelling as fast as they wanted to gel. If Hackett lasts this season, we can look at Denver as a team the team that's going to be reckoned with next year because he's been a year underneath his system and he knows the ins and outs. So they will probably be a better team. But right now, I think that's the issue. But Hackett might be on the chopping block.
He probably lost him 2 games.
To be perfectly honest, guys, the AFC West, when they coach the safe, is your boy in Kansas City, to be honest. Andy Reid. He's the only one safe right now. All right, Mo.
All right, well. I got to tell you guys mine. I was just like, I can't believe it. This team is winning the division. Only team without winning their division. They are leading Tampa Bay. They are leading the Saints. On the Raiders. They beat the team that's in last place because the guy catches a great touchdown. Takes off his helmet before the game. Then they can't even make the extra point. How in the world are the Atlanta Falcons when they have nobody that recognized on their team? They've already lost their running back. I think Mariota is the starter. Marcus Mariota? It's 8 games in. He's not hurt. That's surprising. I have no idea. I have no recollection of anybody. Either one of you guys can name anybody. Except for Young Ho. One I know is the kicker. That's pretty bad. I know the kicker because his name is Young Ho.
And you know what else too? This is really sad too, is because both their corners are out and they're playing rookie corners. And I think that was the reason why that pass got behind them. And DJ Moore or D Moore or whatever his name is caught the pass.
DJ Moore, you're right.
DJ Moore caught the pass over him. But yeah. And Cordell Patterson is out. He should be back next week. He's on my fantasy league too.
I thought he's out for the season. My bad.
No, they said week 9 he should be back. They say he's running his full speed right now. So I'm looking to see him come back and do some great things for me. This is the back end of week 9, and we ready to make this run. I'll probably lose this weekend because I don't know if I got enough points. But after this, I'm looking to go whatever in 2. You know what I'm saying? 2 losses is gonna be it. I'm trying to win this chapter. I'm trying to win this title. But yeah, Atlanta. Hartley I think Hartley is the running back's name.
Huntley. Isn't it
Huntley?
Huntley. What else is the one that started?
And then they have the tight end from Florida. What's his name? Shucks. Number 8.
Pitts.
Pitts. They got Cal. Is it Cal? Not Cal Pitts. Whatever Pitts' name is. Whatever the kid's name is. Pitts. So they don't have a lot of everyday names on their team, but they're getting it done. By luck, I'd rather be lucky than good when it comes to football, basketball, and baseball. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, if you think about it, and the thing about it is, he took his helmet off out the field of play, and he got the flag, 15-yard penalty. Now today they come back and say it was a wrong play. We shouldn't have threw no flag. We apologize, but they lost the game. Which is crazy because he was off the field when he scored a touchdown when outside the end zone, took his helmet off. So the ruling is if you're in the field of play, you can't take your helmet off. He was not in the field of play. He was outside of the end zone when he took his helmet off. So there shouldn't have been no penalty whatsoever. So referees got that wrong.
See, I don't agree with that because I think
the
game is still playing.
Game is still playing.
You should be able to allow.
You should be able to allow
I get if that's the rule.
I get if that's the rule.
You got to understand how the referees messed that up.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that one right there.
Now let's talk about some of these teams.
Let's talk about some of these teams.
Let's talk about the Vikings. Are they real? Or are they just the
Vikings?
I see y'all shaking your head. Either one of y'all want to talk on that?
Go ahead, G-Dub. I'll let you speak on that.
They're going through the motions.
How is the team going through the motions?
Look, they haven't played nobody.
They're 3-0 in the division.
Yeah, but they haven't played nobody yet.
The next best team is 3-5.
Packers
and the Bears. They're 5-1 in the conference. I'm just saying, just like I say all the time, we only play who we play. Can't put me against anybody else.
When they can team over 500, I say they were real.
I think the issue with with Minnesota is this right here. Looking at the teams with the hardest schedule right now, got Kansas City 1, the Rams 2, Vegas 3, Steelers 4, Houston 5. Teams with the easiest schedule. Now, I want you guys to think about this: the Giants, the Eagles, the Colts, the Bears, the Lions. So the Giants and the Eagles are taking advantage of a weak schedule. So we're talking about Minnesota, okay? And Minnesota's in the middle of the pack. Out of 32 teams, they're 16. All right. So some of the games are gonna be some of the games are gonna be hard, some of the games not. I wish one day they would stick a mic in the face of referee when they make bad calls like they do players and coaches. Yeah, I agree with you, cuz I totally agree with you on that one. So if we look at their schedule, if we look at Minnesota's schedule, they have a pretty good defense, okay? And the quarterback he manages the games well. He got Stephon Diggs. He got a good running back. He got a good tight end.
You like that?
Pretty
Diggs ain't that no more.
I mean, not Diggs. Jefferson. Jefferson. So they played the Packers. They beat them 23-7. They lost to the Eagles, which 24-7. They beat the Lions 28-24. They beat the Saints 28-25. They beat the Bears 29-22. They beat the Dolphins 24-16. Beating the Cardinals 34-26. So, looking at their schedule, looking at the scores, there's certain things that happen to give them an opportunity to win. If it's a turnover, if it's a pick, if it's a bad play, like an offsides play where it's maybe 4th and 1 and the team jumps offside and goes back 4th and 5. Now they got to punt the ball. There's a lot of things that's playing in their favor, and a lot of things playing in their favor. Because the Cardinals had their opportunities yesterday. I watched some of that game yesterday. I think the Cardinals had their opportunity to win that game. But Kirk Cousins made plays when he had him. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. And I think Kirk Cousins did that yesterday. I think that they're taking advantage of a weak division because you look at what they have there. The Packers are not the Packers no more. And that's the team they really had to deal with in that division. Chicago just traded away the linebacker, so they're basically gonna fold it in. So going forward, they play the Commanders. That's not a winning record. They play the Bills. They play the Cowboys. They play the Patriots.
They play at the Bills.
That would be a real challenge.
Those
and then the Cowboys.
Bills, Cowboys, and Patriots are going to really tell you which type of team they are. They got the Jets at home, and they got 2 division games at the end of the season at Green Bay and at Chicago. So if they let's say they lose to the Cowboys and the Bills, that's 3 losses. Let's say they go on and probably win out, or maybe not win out, but let's say they go if that's 3, let me see, 1, 2, 3, give them 4 losses. So that makes them what, 13 and 4. That's good enough to have a home. That's good enough to have a wild. They're good enough to play at home for one, I think. They could probably be the number 2 seed behind Philadelphia if Philadelphia keeps doing what they're doing. So I think when it comes to the elite teams in the playoffs, I don't know if they're that good. I just think they're taking advantage of a weak division. And Kirk Cousins is basically managing the game as a quarterback should. He does everything. He's like a jack of all trades, master of none, I will probably say. Would you guys disagree with that?
I agree. The biggest thing that I looked at
is the last
one of them has been a one-score
game.
Exactly. And that's what I looked at. So
yeah, that's not sustainable.
That's not sustainable.
That's what happened to my Steelers.
That's what happened to my Steelers.
We won our first 11 games because we did not have any injuries. We started losing guys. After week 8.
And
then week 11.
And
we had to run that down. Then on Tuesday night. We just weren't ready for that.
And you know what though, the Cardinals had 2 bad turnovers. I think the muff punt, I think, was one of them that caused. And that again, I'm saying turnovers. You take turnovers as long as and I think in the NFL now, everybody gets a turnover if they're in the red zone. They're looking to score a touchdown. Whatever you get from a turnover is a plus. If you kick a field goal, that's a 6-point change. You know what I'm saying? If you kick a touchdown, that's basically a 14-point change now because you got to score 14 points to be ahead. So I think you see a lot of coaches doing gambling a lot more now than ever before. But I think that Kirk Cousins needed to have this type of season in order for him to keep his job in Minnesota. I think he was on the hot seat as a quarterback in Minnesota, and so far he's playing well. Defense is doing what he's got to do. I wish that Buffalo game is in Buffalo, but it's 11-13, so that's like 3 weeks away. Yeah, like 2 weeks away. The weather's really not going to be that bad. That bad. The games that I'm looking at for them actually.
Wait a minute. You got to talk about. It's the first time Stephon Diggs.
Has played.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, thanks, man. The Packers and the Bears game gonna matter at the end because of divisional games. Regardless if Packers are in, regardless if Green Bay's in or not, that's a divisional game. So that's gonna matter to them for seeding. I want to believe. I think I'm just thinking that might be the case. You guys, what's y'all guys' thoughts on that?
You take this one, G-Dub.
You take this one, Mo.
I'm trying to make sure that one of us is off because we're echoing.
Okay.
Repeat the question, Kev.
The question was, I said, do you think those two games going to matter to them at the end, Green Bay and Chicago? Because they're both one's in Green Bay and one's in Chicago. January 1st, January 8th. We know Chicago. We know Green Bay is going to probably have some type of snow. It's going to be cold weather. Minnesota plays in the dome now. So are they that confident at the end of the season that they can go out and win those two games in the climate, the weather? Those two games might matter to them as far as who's starting, who's not starting, because at that point in time they should be already clinched. They should have clinched the division. Let's be honest, they should have clinched the division, and now they're playing for seeding. And unless, like I said, unless Philadelphia just falls off the face of the earth, I don't know if I'll be honest with you. We look at Philadelphia's schedule; it's doable. That they can win the division with one loss, for real. I mean, they can win the conference with one loss, and at the end of the season, not really play your starters their last game, if possible, or maybe the last two games not play your starters. If they're at that point in time, how do you handle that? But my question was, do you think that the Green Bay and Chicago game is going to really matter to them at the end of the season because they're in cold weather?
I don't think so. And the reason I said that is because they will have already locked up the division. At that time period, everybody else is going to probably fall off. So I think it's just going to be them and Philly. So I think those last two games aren't going to really matter that much, especially that last game against the Bears. I don't even think they'll have to play their starters to beat the Bears because the Bears are going to be playing for the first pick. Even though they're not going to look to sort of like the quarterback, they'll be looking at one of the other best players, so they probably won't even play their best players. The Packers, it depends on if they get themselves together. I just don't know. With Allen Lazard being out, he's on my fantasy team. You can tell that Aaron Rodgers just doesn't trust anybody except for Dobbs to throw the ball to. And that's why they ran the ball so much yesterday. And the problem that you have with that team is Aaron Rodgers isn't engaged. The rest of the team isn't engaged either. So, and I don't feel like he's engaged this year. So I just don't think Green Bay really cares right now.
Do you Green Bay? I was going to ask you another question. Do you think that Green Bay should make a trade for a wide receiver? Brandon Cook's name has been brought up a lot as a potential wide receiver for Green Bay. Do you think Green Bay takes that chance to bring in Brandon Cooks with his salary? We already know. I'm gonna say this. I think Aaron Rodgers is done in Green Bay after this year. I'm not saying he's done in the NFL. I think he's done in Green Bay. But do you think they know more than us confidentially if he's staying or if he's going? But the question is, if you're Green Bay Packers, do you make a trade to bring in a wide receiver for a team that is 3-5, and possibility of making a playoff is almost nil, for real, because of what you said? You could see everybody's going through the motions, like, they probably got their vacation bags already packed right now in Green Bay. So do you think they make a trade for a wide receiver or not?
I think they're going to try. And the reason being is you see the defense, even though they were getting spanked by Buffalo, was still engaged. They still wanted to play. They still wanted to beat up on Diggs. So you only have so many years with Aaron Rodgers, and they proved it when how many years they had with Brett Favre. So if you want to keep him, you got to show him that you're trying. And they tried. They've been trying to get Claypool from the Steelers, but we want a second-round pick. I wouldn't pay a second-round pick for Claypool if I'm them because he's been so inconsistent. But with Aaron Rodgers, he could be amazing. You never know. But that's the gamble. You don't want to – I wouldn't pay that much for a wide receiver unless I have 2 more years on his contract. So – and there's not many wide receivers out there who you're going to get that you're not going to have to pay. And that's the problem in Green Bay. They didn't have any money or they would have kept Devontae. So even though Devontae wanted to go, it was because he wanted to make sure that he had a quarterback that he trusted because he saw Jordan Love and was just like, I don't trust Jordan Love. I ain't got no love for him. So I think they can. I think Brandon Cooks makes sense. Are you going to throw a flag on Jordan Love or throw a flag on what I said? Yeah, I throw the flag on that pick too. I think they just need to find a wide receiver out there that is just that is probably like a number 2 or number 3 on somebody's team. Like I gotta say, if whatchamacallit wasn't hurt, if Chase wasn't hurt, if they would have went and got Tyler Boyd, that's the perfect wide receiver that they needed. So he's not flashy, but at the same time, dude runs crazy routes. He gets open. He just doesn't get the ball because you got T. Higgins on one side of you and Chase on the other side of you. So I think Tyler Boyd would have been a perfect fit, but now the Chase is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Cincinnati ain't gonna give him up. So Brandon Cooks is probably the best one that's available.
Okay, I see your point there. So let's move on, guys. So NFL, the players were talking about the football field now, and it's weird how it goes from I want turf now to I want grass. I don't have the stats on the injuries. I was trying to find it. That was probably one of the hardest things I just couldn't find the stats on where, and I think I have it, but I don't know where I did with it. But it does talk about the injuries that happen on turf compared to on grass. Now, this is where I think the owners have to come to an agreement. When you lose a player because of an ACL tear and nobody's touched him, the AstroTurf has something to do with it because it doesn't give like grass does. Okay? When you lose your starting quarterback who just falls down and gets a high ankle sprain for 4 to 6 weeks, then you're mad because now he's out. But then on the flip side of this, the Washington Redskins have always had grass, and RG3 got hurt on grass. Now I don't know if they have the real grass or they have I think it's called artificial grass, but it's not turf, right? So, guys, this is becoming an issue. Cooper Kupp brought it up, and then Pete Carroll brought it up. The safety for Seattle brought it up about the artificial turf versus natural grass has been raised. After Seattle wide receiver DK Metcalf and lost in charge of cornerback Jay Jackson suffered knee injuries during Sunday's game at SoFi Stadium, both on non-contact plays. And if you guys think about this, SoFi probably has the most updated field right now in the NFL. They've been there 2 years, I think. Yeah, two years. Okay, going on. Is it 2 years going on 3 or 2 going on 2? I think it's 2, 3, 6. I think it's third year going on. It's 2 years going on 3. So they probably got the most updated turf field out there, and you got guys that's getting hurt on this. Cooper Kupp even says he would rather play on grass. I see, and even in high school, I see a lot of guys slipping and slide on the AstroTurf. Maybe it's the cleats they wear that's not suitable for that game at all. I don't know. You guys, G-Dub, give me your take on, because see, I never played tackle football on turf. I always played it on grass, and I love grass over turf any day of the week. Even though I played on turf, playing flag football, I like grass better. If you're in NFL and your owner, G-Dub, which way are you going with this? Because if you go to grass, now you're saying to the players, I understand how, your longevity matters to me right now. We want to keep you around for a while, and we don't want you to be hurt on a non-contact play. So are you going with grass? AstroTurf, turf is less expensive because you don't have to change it out, but every so often. So what's your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I would go grass because, grass, like you were saying, Kev, grass gives better than the astroturf. Because if you stop and look at all the injuries that's happened, you know, it's happened on astroturf. But to me, I would go grass.
Mo.
I think this is a hard one because at the same time, I see injuries happen all the time on both grass and astroturf. So the problem that you got to look at is you got to talk to your smart people in your organization. You got to talk to your field guy. You got to talk to your facilities. Then you also got to talk to your training staff to see what they say. But then I also ask my coach. I involve all of them in the conversation because at the same time, I'm not going to spend $5 million to put down natural grass if they're not going to tell me that I don't need to do it. If they tell me I do, and then it fails, it's on them. It's not on me. Yes, I might have be out $5 million, but I made a smart decision. So I'm trying to put my team in the best position to win. And also, you got to think about this. You got to think about the speed of your team. If your team is fast like Miami, you're going to go with artificial turf because you're faster on turf. But if you got a slow, grinded out team, of course you want grass. So it's also about what your coach wants and if you trust your coach to be there for a few more years. So.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So here's 5 bold predictions for 2022 NFL trade deadline, which ends tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. So there are some other players out there that has already moved. As we know, Smith was traded from both from the Chicago Bears to the Baltimore Ravens for a 2nd and 5th round pick, which I got to give them an attaboy on that one. That just helped out that defense tremendously. They're right there. They're right there. They're if you look in the AFC, I still don't think that makes them better than Buffalo. It doesn't make them better than Kansas City. Makes them better than everybody else in that division, in my opinion. I think Tennessee is just riding the wave right now. They won with Willis yesterday, but I really wasn't impressed on the game plan with him at all. I think they should let that dude just go footloose, fancy free, and do what he did in college to get him to the pros.
But why when
Mo?
you're running for 3? It was crazy.
Well, it was crazy. I'm just saying though, a game like that, but you look at that game, and the score for him to run as much as he ran for, and the score to be the score, to me that doesn't make sense. I just don't. It don't add up to me. Something's missing on Tennessee Titans. I don't know what it is. I don't know. So the 5 bold predictions is number 5. Dallas Cowboys trade for quarterback Greedy Williams from the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't say what they give up, but that's a trade that could be a possibility. Green Bay Packers trade for Brandon Cooks. Number 4. Las Vegas Raiders trade for offensive tackle Isaiah Wayans. I don't know if that's going to happen now because they've benched as another coach is on the hot seat. Los Angeles Rams trade for edge rusher Bradley Chubbs. They're going to give up a lot to get him. I think they want a 2 and a 5 for him. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is probably the biggest one in my opinion because they already got a guy in the backfield. Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade for Kareem Hunt. I think they already have a guy in the backfield, but that's one of the big ones that they're talking about. Those are 5 biggest trades that's out there right now. Again, there was a trade today. We got to tomorrow tomorrow at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, I believe, for the NFL to make trades. Do you guys have any other trades that you could see happening other than the ones I just mentioned? Going forward for any team, your team or any team like that. Dallas is all over the place when it comes to trading for somebody. It's like they trade draft picks, they trade players, they trade this, they trade that. because I think nobody thought the Eagles were going to be this good. We knew Dallas was right there. And I picked the Eagles at the beginning of the season. Remember that. If I don't remember nothing else, remember that. So anybody else see any other trades that could possibly happen? Mo?
I do. I see Cam Akers being traded. I don't see any way that he comes back and plays for the Rams, so I think they trade him. Then Elijah Moore as well for the Jets, even though they proved they needed another wide receiver on the outside yesterday. And what's his name? Corey Davis was hurt as well. I think they also might. I don't know if they traded Elijah Moore, but at the same time, I've said it before. We want volunteers. We don't want hostages. So if a guy doesn't want to be there, I don't see any reason to keep him there. Get him gone so you can actually work with building a culture around your team as well, especially because the Jets are winning. Made no sense for him to come out and say, yes, we're winning, but I want the ball. Why you want the ball? Now I get it. Breece Hall is gone, so you can get the ball. But you should have gone about it the right way. So just terrible.
Okay, G-Dub, do you think of any trades that Dallas might want to do going forward to enhance that team to the next level?
I know we traded with the Raiders to pick up a linebacker, but I don't remember who it was. I would have to go back and look. But trades, I don't see Dallas going anywhere right now, unless they surprise us and make that move.
Okay, so next up on the list we have. Oh, did anybody see Tom Brady explode the other night against Baltimore? Did you see how frustrated he was? Very frustrated. Very, very frustrated. He ain't getting no cookie no more. They got a divorce, which is sad. Because he chose football over his family. I don't get it because his football career is coming to an end. But it is what it is. So let me just read what I have here. Former NFL kicker admits having hate towards super arrogant Tom Brady. Lawrence Tees, who's a kicker of the New York Giants when they beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice, knows what it's like to see Tom Brady on the field as he is part of the New York Giants team shockingly defeating the 18-0 New England Patriots in Super Bowl, whatever it was, 12 or 13, I don't know, 23, 22, I don't know. The former kicker, now retired, followed 9 years career, recently spoke on super arrogant demeanor of Tom Brady. Tyus admitted that he felt some hate toward Tom. I would say, but only through sports. Tyus says,
This call may be recorded or transcribed.
It was nothing personal, but because he's kind of a golden child in the NFL and with a team that continues to win, and then you add in a little bit of that they videotaped, they deflated the football. A lot of people hate the Patriots. It's just not Tom Brady's because they're good. The 44-year-old admitted that he dislikes Brady the same way people resent the Golden State Warriors or the Los Angeles Dodgers. He recalled something. Brady said before their Super Bowl encounter in 2008, "There's some natural respect, hate if that even makes sense towards Tom Brady because he was super arrogant leading up to the week of the game. You know, Plexico Blurs had made a statement about the score, and then Tom said something about, you mean we're only going to score 14 points?" Burrows predicted 23-17 Giants win, and the team wins. The Giants victory, the team won 17-14. I wish I had said like 45-42 or something like that. Brady said after initially laughing at the 23-17 prediction. At least he gave us a little credit for scoring more points. Brady completed 29 of 48 passes attempts, totaling 266 yards and one touchdown in the Super Bowl loss. The 2008 Super Bowl loss would Tom Brady's first, but he would go on to lose to the Giants in 2012. Once again, Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. Do we think that Tom Brady is an arrogant football player, and should he be okay being arrogant because he's won so many Super Bowls? I'm gonna say this. Act like you've been here before. That's what I'm saying. Because you don't like being on the side of the shoe. You know what I'm saying? When well, let me say this. It ain't fun when a rabbit got the gun. Okay? And Tom Brady's been on the side of the rabbit. I mean, he's been on the side of that gun and not been a rabbit. And he don't look happy about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that to me, Tom Brady and Michael Jordan are probably the most arrogant person in the world, in my opinion, in sports world. I don't think nobody's more arrogant than him. I'm gonna put Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and I'm gonna throw LeBron in there. Those three players are probably
definitely LeBron, definitely.
They're definitely
Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather, yeah, when he goes around like this with his money, yeah. So
a four-headed monster.
So the thing about it is, though, guys, is that do you see Tom Brady as being arrogant, or is it passion? Because like I'm gonna say this to you guys, if it's anybody else, he's a problem on the team. You got to get rid of him. But when it's Tom Brady, it's all about passion. He just has he has passion. His passion is overrides everything else. So my question to you guys: do y'all see the same thing I see when it's somebody else? Like it's Odell Beckham. Oh, he's a problem. You got to get rid of him. But when it's Tom Brady, who took an iPad, not one, not two, but 3 iPads and destroyed them, and then the NFL comes back and says, "Look, we rich, but we ain't gonna tolerate this no more. Don't not break another iPad because we pay for those. You don't pay for them. I pay for those. The NFL pays for them. The fans pay for them. The states pay for them.
Right.
We pay taxes for those iPads. Tom Brady, stop breaking them." So, is that passion or arrogant?
I mean, just because you're good does not give you the right to be the most arrogant player or one of the most arrogant players in the game.
I agree, Lou. I agree.
You don't have to be that arrogant.
Mo, what you got for me?
Dude, anytime you can go to your old owner's wedding on a Saturday before you play on Sunday, that if that's not arrogant, I don't know what is, because that's telling the other team, I ain't got to prepare for you. What happened? I took out Brady. Couldn't take out Philly, but I took out Brady because he underestimated us. That's what happens. You want to go be with Robert Kraft? Go back to New England then. That's what happened to you. That's how you know when you're arrogant, where you can take time away from the team, not just to start, not just preseason, but in the season to go to another owner's wedding. Nah, that's arrogance.
And I didn't even bring up the wedding part. I was gonna leave that for last. But G-Dub, what you got for?
Tom Brady is arrogant. You know, look at the fits he's been throwing on the field. You know, just like what Mo was saying about going to Robert Kraft's wedding. You know, if that's not being arrogant, I don't know what is. But Tom Brady is the most arrogant, self-centered jerk that's ever played football. He's self-centered and an arrogant jerk.
Hey, Gerald, tell us how you.
Just think about if anybody else would have did that. Just think about anybody else goes to somebody else's wedding that was from an old team that you used to play for. When you had a game, not when you're on bye, but you had a game. Think about if Odell Beckham does that. Think about if Jalen Hurts does that. Russell Wilson might have gotten away with it, but at the same time, I don't see many people getting away with that because he's Tom Brady. That's the only reason. Deflated footballs because it's Tom Brady.
Mr. Golden Boy.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play this commercial real quick. What's up, everybody out the sports world? This is K, and I'm coming to you from In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network weekly schedule. Remember, when you call in, the number is 512-543-4662. I said again, 512-543-4662. On Sundays, we have an opening date, so if you'd like to come on and do a show on Sunday, we here ready for you. On Mondays, from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, January to August, and from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from September to January. Make sure you guys get to watch that Monday Night Football. And that show is Just Like Sports Talk Radio Show with your host, K. Dix, the host of Pennsylvania. Also, my co-host is Dana Clark from St. Pete, Florida. On Tuesdays, we got Devin Gordy from Fort Defiance, Arizona, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Pitch Sports Talk Show. Wednesdays, we have 8:39 out of the block. Your host, Robert Lewis from Richmond, Virginia. Co-host is Donna Haynesworth out of Roanoke, Virginia. Also co-host Brett Shields from Orlando, Florida. Next up, on Thursday, from 6 to 8, we got Game Winning Sports Show. Host Gerald Wiskonowski from Austin, Texas. Co-host Richard Tunney from Miami, Florida, South Beach. Also on Thursday, we got the Walker Report. Host is Bradley Walker from Tampa, Florida. Co-host is Adam Mango from Nashville, Tennessee. Friday, open. Saturdays, we have from 5 to 7 p.m. Enhanced Sports Show. Host Enhanced Tenero, Roseland, New Jersey. Co-host he has Steve Davidson from Washington, D.C. Last but not least, on Sundays from 6 to 7, from 6 to 8, we got the DMV Sports Show. Host is Razoo McGee from Springfield, Virginia. He talking everything sports in the DMV. So check us out every day of the week that you can. Make sure you call us. Number is 512-543-4662. You guys have a great day. See you one day this week on the shows. Peace. Okay, guys, we're back. So let's get into some basketball. Right now, I don't like the NBA. I don't like nothing about the NBA. It just makes my stomach turn. It's a sport I love, and they're disrespecting my sport. And I'm gonna tell you why. Nobody wants to play defense no more. Everybody wants to shoot threes. Nobody wants to shoot a layup. The only time they want to go to the rim is when they dunk the basketball. It's just not basketball as we know it. Is it change? Is this changing for us? I don't know. I think that what we're seeing right now is a cosmetic of what the future is going to bring to the game. I'm really in tune to cutting this season down to 62 games because that makes every game matter. We've watched the Golden State Warriors get blown out twice. They're going through the motions. They're basically saying, "Oh, we'll win when we got to win, and then we get in the playoffs. We'll turn it on, turn it off." Not saying that they can't do it, and they're not the only team that's doing this. They're not the only team that's doing it. The rest of the NBA is doing it. Look at the Utah Jazz; they're winning. Look at the San Antonio Spurs; they're winning. These were teams that everybody thought was going to tank the season. He's worried about them tanking, and now they're winning games, right? Is people taking them lightly? Is people not serious about playing these teams? And I'm watching basketball, and I'm telling you, I watched the Celtics play Washington Wizards last night. I was bored out of my mind. It was not a good game at all. Boston got up by 20 some points, got it to 10, and it never got no closer than 10 the whole game. May have got to 8. Washington was shooting threes, terrible. I mean, just missing, terrible. Bradley Beal was like 0 for 10 in the third quarter, missing layups and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm watching this game and I'm not really into it. And it's not that it's because it's football season. It's just that that's not the way the game of basketball is supposed to be played, in my opinion. It's putting a sour taste in my mouth. But what made me feel a little better today was I got an email. I always get emails. That's how I get my sports information. That the 76ers has lost 2 draft picks because they got caught cheating.
There's a penalty.
Cheating. As we all know, the PJ Tucker situation went on during the playoffs. People were saying he's going to Philadelphia. The Daniel House situation, I think that probably was part of the conversation, but that wasn't brought up. But just I'm gonna give you what's going on right here. And there's gonna be another one that's gonna get slapped on the wrist too. 76ers forfeit 2 picks for early free agents decisions with Tucker and House. And the reason why this happened is because free agency starts at 3:00. Okay, at 3:05, pretty much they had the paperwork in New York for PJ Tucker, and then not shortly after that, Daniel House stuff comes in right after that. So there's no way possible they could have had talked to these guys earlier that day to make this happen. It was already done. It was already in the works. And the thing about it is that people need to be quiet about stuff like this. If they're going to do it, don't talk about it, okay? The NBA announced Monday that it stripped the 76ers of 2 second-round draft picks for tampering violations. The ruling comes after the league investigated into the timing of Philadelphia's free agency discussion with PJ Tucker and Daniel House. No wrongdoing was found in James Harden's decision to decline his $47 million option in favor for 2 years, $68 million. I think that's a lie. They could have got him on that one too. The 76ers fully cooperated with the NBA investigation and acknowledged the league ruling. The team announced in a statement on ESPN, "We're moving forward and focus on the season ahead." Tucker agreed to a 3-year, $32 million. The veteran averaged 5.4 rebounds throughout the first 7 contests in 2023 campaign. House signed for a 2-year, $8.5 contract with 76 journeyman wing, who got off to the slow start, posting only 2.7 points per contest and shooting only 27% from the deep. The NBA probe into the New York Knicks is coming next. Signing of Jalen Bronson is still ongoing, sources told ESPN Wojciechowski. In previous years, the Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls all have been docked second-round picks from conducting early free agency discussions. The NBA, BA are expected to revisit the rules that punish teams in talks with players' agents on pending free agents before the free agency officially begins, Warhol says. The only way you stop this, man, is you sign the guy and you don't report it until later on. You sign the contract, and a couple hours later, 4, 5, 6 hours later, 7 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, you send it to them. You know what I'm saying? So what they basically did was they looked at text messages, they looked at emails, they looked at all kind of stuff to find out what happened. And again, they were a subject of losing some draft picks. The Knicks is going to get hit really hard with this too, because the Knicks need their draft picks to be better. Jalen Brunson is helping them be better. They're more competitive right now, but they still gonna need those draft picks if they were trying to move somebody like Randall or Obi Toppin, somebody like that. Those draft picks would have mattered in moving those players around to different teams. But now they don't have. Now, if they lose 2 draft picks or close to that or more than that, then they're stuck with what they have. You know what I'm saying? So Philly got 2 second-round draft picks taken away from them. I don't know if they don't say what year, but I'm assuming that one will probably be this year and the other will be next year. I don't know if they have 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks coming up in this draft year. I don't know for sure. Everybody should have a 1 and a 2. I don't even know if Boston got 1 or 2. Boston might not have none at all. But the thing about it is, though, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. The situation with James Harden, that needed to be addressed more, because I'm telling you, he took less money because they guarantee him more money on the back end of this contract. What's happening with Philadelphia is they're trying to turn him into the Houston Sixers or the Philadelphia Rockets, one of the two, because you got two players from Houston coming there that played with James Harden when James Harden was decent, okay? But this team's built around Embiid, which he's not playing tonight behind sore knee or something like that. They're playing the Wizards. They should win. They should beat the Wizards, but he's not playing right now because he's hurt. He's had fasciitis, fasciitis on the foot. And if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't go away in 2 or 3 months. That's a longer.
Fasciitis.
It's months.
Yeah, and they said that he got it over the summertime.
Yeah.
So June, July, August, June, July, August, September, October. If you throw May in there, that's 6 months. If they got eliminated in May, you know what I'm saying? So stop with the nonsense. People know what's going on with the Sixers, and their shenanigans. But speaking of Sixers again, guys, they're 3-4 right now, but they are probably they're giving up big leads in games. And Doc Rivers might be on the hot seat, guys. And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's Daryl Morey's he's not the guy Daryl Morey wants as a head coach. He wants D'Antonio. Yeah. I can almost guarantee you, if they get rid of Doc Rivers one way or another, D'Antonio will be the coach. Will be the next coach of the 76ers. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Because D'Antonio never had a big man like Embiid in his camp that proved that he could play. Embiid shoots the three well, shoots the tweener well, rebounds, he blocks shots, he shoots free throws well, he does everything good that D'Antonio never had in the Houston Rockets, but he had a good team in the Houston Rockets. That's why I wouldn't be surprised that the Sixers will make a trade, maybe to bring Westbrook there to come off the bench. To play with them, play with this team, because right now it looks like he's a bench player and he's playing really well. The Lakers finally got their first win the other night, and he came off the bench and played really good. I think they should have did that last year. I just don't think that because of what you're getting paid, you should be a starter. You got to do what's best for the team, and I think they convinced him to do what's best for the team and come off the bench. You guys got any thoughts on the Sixers situation at all? Mo, G-Dub, Lou?
I mean, for a team that's supposed to be in contention, for maybe going to the finals or conference finals, they're sure not playing like a contending team right now.
Yeah.
That's no part of that either.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now, nobody's really playing defense. I'm telling you, if you watch the games, like 120 to 127 games like that, come on, man. I can see if you go into overtime, then you're going to score. You got to score the most points. But it's not very entertaining to see guys just jack up. The Celtics average 43 pointers a game in 5 games. 43 pointers, guys. 40. That's 10 per quarter. And there's some quarters when they were down to Chicago and they were down to Cleveland, and even in the overtime, they kept shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this game of basketball. I really don't know how they get this. Any comments, G-Dub or Mo? No comments? Okay. So let's move on. So as we know, Kanye West has been stripped of his sponsorship, or not sponsorship, but being a agent in the NBA. And 2 of his biggest clients was Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald. So what happened here, I think this academy they had was a backing of JC. I'm not JC, but Kanye West or West or We or whatever they call themselves now. But Jaylen Brown had offered to sponsor basketball tournaments to the team and will invite the Donna Academy. So this is what it says. Jaylen Brown, boss said Jaylen Brown on Friday offered a sponsorship tournament that will host the elite prep players from Donna Academy, the private school started by Kiyan West. Brown addressed the matters in a series of posts in his Twitter account and wrote, players, we do not cancel our kids. In the past 72 hours, 4 major high school tournaments disinvited Donna's academy team because of the fallout over and the anti-Semitic comments from the rapper and the business mogul we know as Ye. That's what it is. Early this week, Brown and the Los Angeles Rams star Aaron Donald left Ye Marketing Company. Donald Sports they joined early this year, but on Friday, the day after reports Donna Academy had closed the rest of the school year, Brown sounded off on Twitter. A lot of great teachers, parents, students are affected by this, he wrote. It's easy to speak from outside looking in. I spent time at Donna Academy, and it's a lot better than some public schools in America. With better curriculum, high school students are fully accredited. So basically, he gave up some money for those guys to be in the tournament. I commend him for that right there, because what Kanye did has nothing to do with that school. And if people is going to hold that school accountable, they should be ashamed of themselves, because these are kids. The only thing the kids want to do is play basketball and get education. You know what I'm saying? And get opportunity to go to college, maybe. Any comments, guys, on that? No comments at all.
Kanye just has going on. Everything with George Floyd, everything going on with losing athletes. Kim still in the picture, just who he's dating. I mean, mental health is a real thing, man. Mental health is sad sometimes. It's just sad. So, and he just needs to sit down and just shut up for a little while, and it'll all go away, but it's still going to come back because he's going to open his mouth again.
So since we're talking about this anti-Semitic situation, what about Kyrie Irving? How do you think the NBA is going to handle this? And at one point in time, I was on Kyrie's side, because there was a book that he talked about called Jews and Negroes, and I heard a small portion of it about how we have been told lies from day one. But I didn't know anything about the dude with Sandy Hook. I didn't know anything about that. So some friends said to me, he said, check out the situation with Sandy Hook. And so I read that, and I don't agree with him on that part of it. He did post something about that on Twitter, and I don't know if he's never ever said why he did what he did, but he's never said that he was for it or against it. But I don't know. Kyrie is controversial like that. And right now, this situation with Kyrie is that he's going to have to make amends to somebody really soon, or he's going to be out the NBA. As talented as he is, people only going to accept so much from you, and he's been controversial since he's been in NBA. The world's flat. Doing Sage in the stadium, and then he coming back. He's a Muslim. Then one minute he's whatever. I don't know. He just so many different religions. I don't know whatever's going on.
Buddhist.
But he's so Buddhist. Yeah, he's so controversial about a lot of stuff. And he should be. I'm not saying shut up and play basketball. But what I'm saying is that you got your money from the Nets. This is probably your last season with the Nets. No matter if you fire the coach or keep the coach, you're done with the Nets. So who's going to bring you in camp if you're going to bring those kind of controversies to your team? Because now we're talking about sponsorships leaving. He doesn't have a sneaker deal. He hasn't got a sneaker deal. You know what I'm saying? So he's missing out on a lot of money behind some things that he's done. Now, I'm going to say this. It's left to you to get the vaccine, COVID vaccine, or COVID shot or not. That's left up to you. It's your beliefs or whatever your beliefs may be about the COVID. But again, when we're first brought into this world, we get all kind of shots. And I've been okay since then. And I've gotten, at 20 years in the military, I had to get all my shots over again. and we're talking about anywhere from 10 to 15 shots. Okay, so it does happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. But again, if you're owner, are you gonna take do you bring Kyrie in because of the talent he brings to the table? Are you willing to deal with the semantics that he does outside of the game of basketball, the controversy he caused outside of the basketball court? We know he's probably not going to LA next year. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to take a long shot at this right here and say where Kyrie might be at next year, I would say the Milwaukee Bucks or the Miami Heat, because Kyle Lowry is not getting it done down there. I can't see him going anywhere else because
Clippers.
Well, now, but they got Wall out there now. So why would they need him?
Because John Wall is only on the.
Would you say, Mo?
John Wall is only on a 1-year contract.
So okay, so let's look at this real quick. So if you're the Clippers, are you gonna go with John Wall, or you gonna go with Kyrie Irving? Because from watching the way the Clippers play right now, John Wall is not. He's a more facilitator than a scorer. And I think when George and Kawhi's out of the game, then he becomes a scorer. If you put Kyrie into that mix, does Kyrie become the facilitator for those two guys? Is he going to take on the role as being the third scorer with those two guys?
I'm just saying this. After they don't win this year, Ballmer's going to look at it.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that how far do you think the Clippers can go with John Wall?
If they stay healthy, they are probably one of the deepest teams in the NBA right now. But the problem is they haven't stayed healthy. So if they stay healthy, they could win it all. I don't think they'll stay healthy, and I don't think they'll win it all. That's the problem. And until he wins it all, Ballmer is willing to try that because he's got the money. He doesn't care. He just wants to win. And if you win as the Clippers, you win LA, you take over for the Lakers, you've won LA.
You got a great point, and that runs me into my next segment.
Yeah.
So the NBA, the owner said, Golden State Warriors, we're tired of your shenanigans. You pay on top of a tax, on top of another tax, and on top of another tax. So the Golden State Warriors pay, if I'm not mistaken, it might be 4, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 taxes they pay, okay, to be over the cap. So by being over the cap, that allows them to keep their all-stars there without having to worry about them going anywhere else. They just signed Wiggins and they just signed Poole to some healthy contracts. Now, the funny part about it is that Draymond is the odd man out. Rumors is Draymond Green may want to be with the Lakers next year, but it ain't gonna be cheap. And Lakers don't have a lot of money. There's a lot of money to spare. So what's going on right now is you have owners like the Milwaukee Bucks, like the Utah Jazz, like the Memphis Grizzlies, like the San Antonio Spurs, to say the least, those teams. They don't have the capital to pay that luxury tax. Okay? Because Golden State pays, and I'm going to explain it to you. So Golden State say they're $1 over they're $1 over the luxury tax. So they have to pay $5 on top of that dollar for the luxury tax. But now they're way over the luxury tax. So now they pay $1, they pay $1, then they pay $5, then they pay another $10 on top of that. So in all actuality, they're giving out $16 luxury tax money for every thousands or whatever it is over the salary cap they go. Teams can't afford to do that. There's probably teams that can afford to do it, but they don't want to do it because they know that their team is not guaranteed to be in NBA Finals, be in the Eastern or Western Conference Finals at the end of the year. That's why teams won't do that. The owners are not going to take that type of money and spend it. So I think a hard cap would be good for the NFL. I mean, good for the NBA, and it makes the accountant do some work. Because if you can go to state, you're in Phoenix, you're in Boston. No, I don't include Boston. You in Miami, you're in Los Angeles, you're in Chicago. You can pay that luxury tax. You can pay one of those luxury taxes because you're over and you feel like your team has an opportunity to win a title. Now, I'm gonna throw the Boston Celtics into this mix right now because I don't think they're done dealing and willing yet. I think Carmelo Anthony is in the picture. It's coming to the Celtics because they still have the trade exception money left over. They just Mo, listen to me. He's gonna be the next PJ. What was PJ's name? PJ Brown.
Brown.
That's what they're gonna try to do with Melo. Because why has nobody signed Melo yet?
I'd rather get Dwight Howard.
I would agree on Dwight Howard too.
Yeah.
Actually, me personally, I would rather go with Hassan Whitehead, or Whiteside, whatever his name is. I'd rather go with him.
Former Senior Whiteside from Senior Hall.
Because he's younger and he don't have the back issues that Dwight Howard has. Now, if Dwight Howard don't have any back issues like he claimed he had before, then yeah, I'll go with Dwight Howard because now he has a reason. He has something to prove. But I'm gonna say this though, I think that Melo, because he has not signed with anybody else, and his name keeps popping up with the Celtics, I think that's a possibility that he goes there. But again, getting back to the cap situation is, I think it's fair for every team, and it makes Golden State figure out how they're gonna get everybody underneath that salary cap. And if you can't afford to get him, then he goes somewhere else and gets paid. You know what I'm saying? Because is it fair? Are they gonna fix the salary cap? Does they do a hard cap? Because football is the only one that I think that has a hard cap. Baseball don't have a hard cap. And we're gonna bring up some baseball in a few minutes too.
I think hockey does.
Yeah,
I think hockey does.
Huh?
Hockey. Even though we don't talk about it, I think.
Yeah, hockey does. So Mo, Lou, do you guys, what y'all guys think about this hard cap for your team? Do you think that, like New York has money to give out, they just can't get the players to come there and play. So they could easily.
That's the problem.
They could easily be in that cap situation, not as bad as Golden State, but they could be in that cap situation where they're all in and they want to win a title. They're trying to bring players in there. They're willing to open a checkbook and just write anything down and give it to them because that's what Golden State's doing.
You know where this came from, right? The rule came from Larry Bird. That's why it's called bird rights. So, because they get your early bird rights, meaning that if you draft well, you can keep your team. And that I don't agree with putting a hard cap in basketball after it's been this way for so long. It only hurts the team that drafts well, and that's wrong. That's just not fair. I think the NFL should actually go this way because I think if you draft well, you should benefit. You shouldn't always lose your players because you can't pay them. I think you should have the option of paying them whatever you want to if you draft the player. So I just think that's wrong. I like what the NBA is doing.
Okay, so Mo is all good. He's good with the luxury tax they're paying. I'm not good with it because watch Golden State get somebody else in free agency this year because of the luxury tax that they got to pay. It's gonna happen. And right now they're talking about maybe there's rumors about trading Klay Thompson, which I think they're wrong about. I just think they're going through the motion right now. I think the Phoenix Suns going through the motion right now. Those two teams right there, they know where they're trying to get to at the end of the season. They're just trying to get to the best way they know how, and the best way they know how, and be healthy to get to that end. That's why I feel like 62 games would be enough for the NBA, because you get ready to throw another tournament in here, where money's involved, and then if he listens to us on In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network, just a sports talk radio, just a sports talk show, he will put the teams that don't make the playoffs in a playoff to get the number 1 draft pick. So we're going to be entertained even when the season's over with the teams that don't have nothing to play for. You know what I'm saying? Now the only downfall to that is that if a team that's playing to get the number 1 draft pick don't have a draft pick, then that team goes to another team that's better than them. Like, for example, for example, the Lakers don't make the playoffs. They win the playoffs for the draft pick. They don't get it. It goes to the Pelicans. So in return, let's say those teams, now we get down to those teams that don't own the number 1 draft pick can't get in the playoffs. You have to you would have to own your own draft pick in order to be in the playoffs. So that may eliminate some teams right there from playing. You know what I'm saying? So it takes some thought to do this, and I think that if Silver really wants to make the NBA better, you fix that all-star mess, national, international against American team, bring back horse, get rid of the dunk contest unless you got it. Well, I'm gonna say get rid of the dunk contest unless you're gonna have guys that's 6 feet or 6 feet or shorter in the dunk contest. It makes it exciting. But if you want this thing with the NBA, if you want this thing to do right in the NBA, you got to fix some things in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So I think the hard cap would be a good thing for the teams, because now you gotta be smart about how you spend your money. And if you can do extensions, then you're fine. Then at the point where you didn't give a player 2 extensions, and then he comes back and he had year 8, now he's eligible for a super max deal, then you can give it to him. That's just my thoughts, man. I'm just giving you what I got, and what I got in a lot, but I'm just giving it to you like I'm giving it to you. Any thoughts on that, guys? Mo or Gerald? Any thoughts? No thoughts? If I'm gonna give you a name, I'm gonna say a name, and I want you to tell me. I don't know what that was. I got things flying out my head. If you guys didn't notice, we all dressed up today, looking like we looking. We got Coach Tomlin down in the bottom, and we got
the gambler.
The gambler up there. I thought he probably would have put a mustache on, like the gambler, like one of those mustaches I test. I am the coach from the 60s or the 70s that has an afro.
The coach or the referee?
I mean, referee from the 70s that has an afro that didn't get an opportunity to throw his flag when he was the ref. I never got the black hat. I never got the white hat. I was a side judge, you know what I'm saying? I never was one that said, in this call here, he took his helmet off and he gets a 15-yard penalty. Oh, I gave the penalty to the wrong team and the team lost the game. I guess I probably won't be refereeing again. And you got Tomlin over there, Tomlin probably days are numbered in Pittsburgh. That's all I got to say about that one.
Hey, I got one for you. Pittsburgh Steelers will not end with a losing record this year. Put it on the board.
Lou, give us something. We got, see, I don't know if you can see the board back behind me, but we got little stickers that says things on it. Like, I'm gonna tell you what they say. So the one sticker was from Dana that says Alabama beats LSU 45-10. Gerald says Texas upsets Kansas State 35-27. 35-27. Mo has this long thing that everybody in their division will lose this week. But that's not going right because but Cleveland plays Cincinnati, so somebody got to win. And mine is the Astros will sweep the Phillies in Philadelphia, and they will win 3 in a row. And it's going to be over and done with.
I doubt that.
Okay. So Lou, do you got something we can stick on a sticky? What you got for us, man? Anything at all?
I don't see Philly sweeping the series in Philadelphia. The Astros is too tough. They're going to find a way to fight back, even if they fall behind, 2-1 or whatnot. The Astros are too strong to, trail in this series, and they're going to find the weapons to stay in it and win this series. I still think they're going to win in 6 games.
You said
I don't see Philly taking the series at all.
You said Phillies in 6 or Astros in 6?
Astros.
Okay, Astros in 6. We're going to go with Astros in 6. And that's Lou. Let's take that right there. Go put that there. Okay. So, Mo and Lou and Gerald, if you know who this is. Ben Simmons. Give me your best definition, Lou, of Ben Simmons.
You want the honest opinion, or do you want the PG version?
No. Give me what you got.
A waste, a complete waste, a trash dump. He has done nothing for the Nets. He did nothing for the Sixers. This guy is a total bum. How is he still playing in the NBA? I have no idea. He's a waste.
Because he still got a contract. That's why. Mo, what you got for me?
Yeah, tear it up.
He's the new Mr. Triple Single. He's the most hated man in Philadelphia. So I'm just going to call him Apollo Creed.
No rematch.
Apollo Creed.
Come on, let's go right now.
So, guys, anybody that's been following me since I started doing this, I've never been a Ben Simmons fan at all. Never been. I've never been a Ben Simmons fan. When he was at LSU, I was not a fan of his because of how he did that. The basketball team was wrong. Okay, that was totally wrong. They had an opportunity to go to the NIT. They didn't go because he was ineligible because he knew he was going pro. So they didn't go because people wanted to see Ben Simmons play. Ben didn't want to play. He was ineligible. So the team didn't take other players. So what you basically did was you basically poo-pooed on your teammates. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who could have saw those other kids playing at the NIT and said, yo, I think this kid could play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He probably has he's at the next, he could probably play the next level going forward. Right? But he never got an opportunity to do that. When they first interviewed Ben Simmons, after the 76ers got the draft pick, Ben Simmons was in London, somewhere over there, sitting on the couch with his friend. He turns to his friend and says, if you guys can read my lips, this is what he says. And if you can read my lips, it says, I want to be a Laker. He did that on national television. So he really didn't want to be a 76er. Lakers are probably so glad they didn't get him. Okay? Because I'm not taking nothing away from the man. I'm not taking nothing away from the man himself. I think he's probably a good person off the court. But on the court, he doesn't love basketball. And we're starting to see a lot of players in the NBA that don't love the game of basketball. They love what comes with it. They love the money, the fame, the fortune. They love all that. They love signing autographs. They love all of that other stuff. They love doing that. But they don't love the game. They don't put in the work. They don't put in the work to be his best.
Then you're missing the point of doing. They're missing the point of being in the league.
Exactly.
The love of the game should come first.
I totally agree with you. And it's about the money now. It's all about the money. You got guys that's getting paid, and then they want to be traded. You know what I'm saying? They get the money, then they want to be traded to a team that has opportunity to win a title, and you give up every plot. You give up every player that you need on your team, and now you're stuck with a superstar and nobody else to play with. And so I think the NBA is watching that stuff, and they're not falling for that. If you think about it, you look at KD situation and look at all the players they wanted. The Brooklyn Nets wanted to give up. I mean, Brooklyn Nets wanted to send KD somewhere else. But I think, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think there was ever any trade sent out for him at all. None. I think it was just a bunch of people talking about where he could go, destination he could go, things of that nature. I think that was a bunch of talk. Because we look at the list of players that they wanted for him, there's no way they're gonna give up all those players because again, you go to a team and you got rid of your two best players, so now you're with a mediocre. You're still where you're at when you left. Your team's not that good anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a major problem, and I think that's why they didn't get rid of him. But getting back to Ben Simmons, Sixers fans called me a hater. They just called me all kind of names about Ben Simmons and everything like this. But you know what though? If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, fly like a duck, and swim like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck.
Now I'm gonna say this. I got why the Sixers went after Markelle Fultz in that draft because they needed a point guard. Because they needed a point guard to create shots for himself. Okay? Because Ben Simmons couldn't do that. They saw that Ben Simmons couldn't be that guy. So bringing in Markelle Fultz at a point guard position, who can create his own shots and get people involved in the game. And you had Ben there that can get people involved in the game. Ben plays great defense. Ben rebounds. He blocks shots. He does all that. But he doesn't shoot the ball. He can't make free throws. And now the Nets are seeing it for themselves that the Sixers probably won that trade, regardless if they got Steph Curry or not. They won that trade, in my opinion. I just think that Ben loves everything that comes with the game, but the game itself. And if I ever got a chance to talk to Ben personally, I would ask him. I was like, "Bro, why you don't want to shoot the ball?" Sixer fans got mad at me. I said, "Okay, he's shooting the ball. They show him." And I'm gonna say this there's a different feel. It's a different feel when it's summertime and you're shooting threes and nobody's on you. You're playing with a bunch of guys that like to play basketball, and they're not going to play defense against you, so you're going to make those threes. So we saw a video of Jason Tatum making like 21 threes in a row. To me, not because it's Jason Tatum, but to make 23 threes in a row and they hit nothing but the bottom of the net is work. That you're putting in work. And regardless of somebody defending you or not, you pretty much you got to do everything the same way. He did everything the same way 23 times to make that shot going. I call that work. I call that putting in work. Jaylen Brown in the pool with weights, swimming down to the bottom, jumping on, pushing off the bottom of the pool, swimming up to the top with like 25, 50-pound weights in his arms. I call that work. You know what I'm saying? And there's probably other players out there that put in work like that, but I didn't see them. You know what I'm saying? But those were ones that was on social media that I saw. I said they're putting in work. Did we see Ben Simmons putting in any work anywhere? I didn't see any work. I didn't see no work at all.
He did on the sideline. And also trying to pull girls in the off season. That's where he was putting in work. Think about it. He was with Chloe, maybe Kim. Who knows who in the world Ben Simmons has dated? He dated so many women. He dated so many women that we forgot that he didn't play. Oh, no, we'd never forget he didn't play basketball. That's the problem.
That is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting paid a nice piece of change that he does want to shoot the ball. He passes the ball. And this is one because Mo was really big on him coming to Boston. He's like he wanted to put him at the 4 or the 5 spot, where he's close to the basket, right? But he has a problem shooting free throws. So getting the 3-point shot from him, or getting the three the old-fashioned way, I don't know if it's going to help at all. And I kind of thought that Brooklyn would have did that with him, but they're not doing that with him. And maybe that's where coaching should come in, because I think that quiet as kept, that coach is on the hot seat right now. They still got some injuries involved in that team. Joe still is out. You know what I'm saying? Curry's out. Once you get those guys back, that's if Joe could average 18 by himself and Curry average 10, that's 28 points more now that you got to defend against. So they're okay right now. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got Kyrie and you got KD on your team, and if they can average 35 points a game together, they should be winning games. So again, there's no defense being played in the NBA. So my whole thing with Ben Simmons is this right here. Sixer fans, you know I'm right. You ain't gotta tell me. I already know the answer to that. I tried to tell y'all from day one. Y'all didn't want to believe me. I was a hater. Didn't know what I'm talking about. I'm not calling your show because you're gonna hate about Ben Simmons, and I'm telling you what I'm seeing, and everybody else seeing it. And not because I'm a Celtic fan, but I'm telling you right now that Ben Simmons was not going to be a good NBA player from college. I saw it from college. I saw it from college. You know, and maybe he may have a mental block. I don't know. Go see a psychiatrist. I don't know. Maybe that can help you out. But anyway.
He's a mental case.
But anyway, guys, let's move on. We got about 9 minutes left real quick. The Lakers. If you LeBron James, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they call on you, LeBron James? We gonna hold off on this to next week because I want to talk more about LeBron and the Lakers. But I wanted to get in a little baseball news here, Mo. So the Giants saying they're gonna outbid everybody for your boy Aaron Judge. Mo, I don't think Aaron Judge is gonna be a Yankee next year.
I'm okay with that if we get Jacob deGrom. We need starting pitching. We need pitching, and we need clutch hitters. Judge proved he couldn't be a clutch hitter in the postseason. It's pretty sad. You had 62 home runs, you bat 300, then you bat like 150 in the playoffs. So everybody knows what your hole is in your game. All you got to do is throw down and away sliders. That's how you get Aaron Judge out.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think there was too much pressure on him in the playoffs to come through after doing what he done in the regular season?
No, I think he was tired. I don't think it was pressure. I think he was just tired. He worked so hard to keep it up, to make sure he broke the record. He worked so hard to make sure he got paid that by the time he got to the postseason, he had nothing left. And I get that. I wasn't mad at Judge. Was not mad at Aaron Boone. Should have been fired. That's who I'm mad at, because he's the one that made all those changes. Why you keep making changes every day? Nobody's gonna feel comfortable if you keep making changes.
And you know what? I get your point, because Dave Roberts, I felt should have been gone this year. I really did, because you bring Gonsolin in to pitch, and he's been off for a whole month. Not that he did no practice. Not that he did any practice pitching. I know he did simulated practice pitching, but in the playoffs, it's nothing like the real thing. I have a problem with the playoff. I have a problem with how the playoffs are set up. I think that the wild card game, as much as people go 3 games, I think it should be 1 game and 1 game only. Because what happens is you play 3 games, and the team that you play is off for almost a week. So you have a rhythm to your madness that you do every day from April to September. You're doing a routine, okay? Your body's going through a routine, so then you stop, and then you gotta go back into that routine again. And I think that's the reason why we don't see the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Braves in the World Series right now, because they had to wait a couple games to play these teams, and these teams were already hot. They was already in the rhythm to do what they had to do. So that's why I don't like this. I don't like it. And the only way it's going to change is the
owner's going
to have to make a change to make it go back to one game, and one game and be done. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at the differential. The Dodgers had 111 wins. Padres was 25 games out of first place, and you get a wild card spot, and then you beat the Dodgers. Okay, then you lose to the Phillies, right? Who just got in by the skin of the chinny chin chin with the one win they had to, and now look at who's in the World Series. You got the Astros and the Phillies. I'm not saying it's not going to be a good World Series, but at the end of the day, the best team didn't get to the World Series, and I think the playoffs had something to do with that. I just think that they need to go back to the one game and be done with the wild card game, the wild card game. Now, getting back to the situation though, I'm looking at the cap situation, and the Dodgers have $122 million that's gonna come off the books this season, and you have
Dodgers just got news.
Game
3 is postponed.
But you said the game's postponed.
Yep.
Is it because it's rain? Is it raining in Philly?
Yep, it is. Well, we're getting some rain here. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Well, it'll be to Sunday then if it goes to 7 games. But San Francisco has $111 million. I think the wild card team for Judge for real is going to be the Mets or the Cubs. If DeGrom stays where he's at and they bring in Judge, then you can bring in other players. San Francisco saying they can bring in other players with Judge too, other superstars if they get Judge. They want to get Judge first, and then they're gonna bring in other players. But the thing about it is, though, is they're saying they can outbid everybody for his services. It's the potluck is gonna be something else, man. That it happens. So right now, these are the teams right now that probably gonna make a run for Judge. Going forward, it says Aaron Judge getting his pot of gold landing spot if he ditches the Yankees are number 1 team, the San Francisco Giants. Number 2 team, the Texas Rangers. Number 3 team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 4 would be the New York Mets. Number 5 would be the Boston Red Sox. Wouldn't that make you mad if he went to the Boston Red Sox? Oh, Chicago Cubs, or the teams they're saying? Mo, Lou, Juro. Is there any other team out there you think has an opportunity of getting Aaron Judge other than the ones I've already spoke about?
I heard rumors of the Giants.
Other than
Twins. I don't know why, but they got money. They need to get a star player.
So you said the Minnesota Twins, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I will call Aaron Judge going back to Aaron Judge. I have no question that he's coming back.
Minnesota Twins.
But I will be honest. I would rather go see because we have lived and died by we need to get back to playing. Like we need to get guys that actually hit them.
Well, I didn't see this. Minnesota Twins has $146 million on the table, but are they going to win? Are they winners? And the reason why I'm not putting them in that category is because they maybe need more than Aaron Judge to be a competitive team of being sought after as saying one of the favorites of going to the World Series. Because even though the World Series is going on right now, Vegas got the Yankees and the Dodgers going to the World Series next year if they sign Aaron Judge back. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got the Astros or the Phillies at all, but they're in the World Series right now. But that's what Vegas got. which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. So Mo said Minnesota. G-Dub, Lou, anybody outside of the teams that we said that I just gave you, do you think that Aaron Judge could end up going somewhere else other than those teams?
I think I'll agree with your partner. So I'll say the Twins.
And I'm gonna say this too: the Texas Rangers wouldn't be bad either. They play the games are played indoors. Okay, so the weather is not a factor to him at all. He's in nice weather. He doesn't have to worry about the snow or the rain or anything like that. So guys, we didn't get any trade. We didn't get any trades at all in this hour of the 2 hours that we're talking about. So we're gonna find out later on tonight, or maybe if Kareem Hunt doesn't play tonight, then he's probably getting traded. Okay, I'm gonna say that much. Okay. So with that being said, guys, we're right around our time frame. Again, guys, James Holder lost his father today, early this morning. Please send him an inbox, letting him know that we're praying for him.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a tough situation that he's going through right now. So all the support he can get, he would probably love it to have for it to get support from us guys. Next week we're going to talk about those Lakers. Hopefully Dana's back on the line with us, and we'll talk about the Lakers as well with him being a Laker fan. We really didn't talk a lot. We did talk some football, but we didn't go into detail about what's going on in the NFL, the moves they're making. I think getting McCaffrey kind of put the 49ers over that hump. I still think they do win a division, as it may be. I'm really want to see what happens with Trey Lance and Jimmy G. Also, guys, I got a little homework for y'all. We know Tom Brady's going to retire. Let's come up with the best case scenario. Who could be the next quarterback for Tampa Bay Buccaneers going forward?
Come on, baby. It's Baker Mayfield.
Really?
You know what? You ain't right.
Standard is the standard.
You ain't right.
No way.
You're not right at all, man. That's not even funny. If Baker were to go to if they would sign Baker to they got to sign Baker to a contract because this is it for him. I think Baker's done, man. I think his days in the NFL have been numbered. Whenever you've been tagged as not a good teammate, that doesn't hold well. Ronnie Anderson didn't want him down there, and Ronnie Anderson's out. He's out in Arizona right now with Kyle, and they lost again. So I think that McCaffrey is over the injuries. You know what, though? I'm gonna say this: McCaffrey fumbled the ball twice yesterday against the Rams. It's a good thing they don't play them again because I think they might have found something out with McCaffrey in them fumbling the ball. So, but I'm happy for 49ers to get McCaffrey because the Rams were trying to get him, but they got 49ers gave up a lot to get him. If he stays healthy and takes them to a Super Bowl, then it was all worth it. If they don't make it to the Super Bowl, then maybe it wasn't worth it this year, but who knows what goes on next year because Debo was out yesterday, so they missed another weapon. They're gonna be San Francisco's gonna be really good to watch going forward, man. If Debo can stay healthy. Losing their running back really hurt them as well, but they recovered and we know that John Lynch was on the hot seat, so was the GM with the Trey Lance situation because they gave up a lot to get him, and now they're gonna have to recuperate some kind of way in the draft how to make this team better. Because we know when you go all in like the Rams and the Buccaneers do, this is what happens on the back end of those careers of Super Bowl wins. You come back and you don't address the issues that you need to address, the issues that you need to address through the draft because you don't have those draft picks. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're at our time limit. G-Dub, got anything to say? Mo? Any comment?
This is standard, baby. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Standard is a standard. So when Tomlin walks away, when Tomlin retires, they'll come up with something else because they're not gonna fire him. He's gonna retire. Lou, anything for you?
Well, like I said, I think we know it's going to be Brady's last year, no matter what was going to happen. I think maybe that this was a mistake from coming back this year. He didn't like the way he went out in the postseason. But I think this was a tale saying, well, this is it. So, goodbye, Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's gonna be over for Tom Brady. You guys have a good night, man. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the baseball game as well. Well, the baseball game got canceled. Enjoy the Monday night game, Cleveland Browns against the Cincinnati Bengals. I need Chubb.
Let's go, Bingo!
I need Chubb, and I need Amari Cooper to just go all out tonight. Put a W on my fantasy team, guys. Y'all guys have a good night. God bless. Be safe.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by K. Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart. Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. G-Dub from Austin, Texas. Murray E. Baskerville from Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. And Coach Ricky from Charleston, South Carolina. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready to be ready.